Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
New rumblings of terror threats, a lot like the bloodbath that played out in Mumbai. Gunmen hitting soft targets like hotels and other tourist spots or possibly banks and economic assets. Could explain why Paris officials have evacuated the Eiffel Tower twice in the past couple of days. A federal law enforcement official telling us, quote, the volume seems to be turned up on threat information out of Europe. Some of it apparently coming from at least one German in custody. The intelligence pointing to using people with Western passports in an attack. Let's talk about it now with former White House Homeland Security Advisor Fran Townsend and CNN national security analyst Peter Bergen. Fran, there are, I'm sure, hundreds of threats being monitored around the world every single day. Why this? Why now?
Well, interesting, Anderson, we see from reports now and talking to intelligence and law enforcement officials, they have an individual in custody, we think in Afghanistan, who we are told is providing really important information. They take that information, they share it with their Western European allies, like Germany, like France, and I was told by one senior official that they've gotten very good cooperation. But the pieces begin to fit, and that's what makes this different. That's why you see the French reacting and closing or evacuating the Eiffel Tower. They're looking now for keys, and they're particularly focused on these soft targets. Anderson, one person said to me, you know what, we've had a lot of success across two administrations of hardening the sort of government targets and the big ones, and so now it really points to the vulnerability of soft targets, resorts, banks, museums, the places where large groups of people will congregate, and you can have mass casualties and real chaos by one individual. You don't need a whole team anymore.
It's also not very common to have the Director of National Intelligence comment on a threat.
That's right. I mean, you know, the minute Clapper came out, I think Peter had the same experience. People are very angry about the leak, and I think Director Clapper really wanted to send the signal that he didn't want leaks. The problem was what that resulted in is people like me and Peter getting lots of phone calls from lots of people saying, geez, we're really angry. This is a really important case. And, of course, journalists ask more questions. And that served to confirm it.
And Peter, there's been an uptick in unmanned drone attacks along the Pakistan-Afghan border. Do we know, is this in any way related?
Well, you know, it may well be, and certainly, you know, we've seen 20 drone attacks, at least 20 already this month, which, if you think, you know, in the last year of the Bush administration, there were only 34. So,
wow,
you know,
so there have been 20 drone attacks in the last month, but only 34 in the last year of the Bush administration. That's an amazing parallel.
Right, right. In fact, there have been more drone attacks. There have been double the number of drone attacks under Obama than there were in the entire 8 years of the Bush administration. So this thing has been ramped up very dramatically. I think there are a number of reasons for that. One is the bombs are smaller, the intelligence is better, the civilian casualty rate, there's a debate about it, but there's no doubt that it's going down. Some government officials say to me it's as low as 1% or 2%. From the public record, it looks more like 10%, but either way, those civilian casualties are going down. I think the floods interrupted the drone strikes for a while because the bases where some of these drones flown from are in Pakistan. The floods have receded. That might account also for this uptick. And then, of course, the fact that this plot or you know, alleged plot one way to kind of interrupt it is to increase the pressure on the area in north Waziristan where many of these militants are based.